Let's
another
pivot here.
Cavs kid
right now.
Okay. Not from Akron, but who's got Akron
How
ties.
did we do it? Did we win last night or lose?
No.
We lost.
Smoked.
Yeah, we're kind of licking our wounds right now.
Okay.
But
All right.
good news is we get him again tomorrow night, and so we get another chance.
Okay.
Matt Kaulig in the house, everybody.
What's going on, guys?
Matt,
What's
it's
going
good to see
on?
you.
It's good to be here.
Hey, your Super Bowl is coming up.
Yes. Super Bowl
the
racing.
Daytona 500
Daytona
is the Super
500.
Bowl of racing.
Yep.
Where is Team Kaulig? Because I was talking to you the other night. You've made some changes.
Yep.
How do you feel about your teams, and how do you feel about Daytona?
Feel awesome. So first we have an exhibition race. As I think I was here last year. We have an exhibition race in L.A. in Los Angeles. They turned the L.A. Coliseum, where USC plays football, into a racetrack.
Wow, that's crazy.
They put an asphalt racetrack inside, and we raced it.
And you said that went very well last year.
No, it went great.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's super support. You know, they don't have. We race out in I don't even know where in California, but it's it's 45 minutes or something east of LA.
Yeah.
But that's the only other race that's like West Coast.
Yeah.
So it's good to just have West Coast people be able to go.
Sure.
And I shouldn't say that's it because it's Las Vegas and Phoenix and
right.
And we race in Portland, but yeah.
Do you know the origin of why the Daytona 500? Why it was in the beginning of the season as opposed to every other sport?
Ask the same
I
thing.
know. I asked the same thing too. It's actually a pretty cool thing. I mean, no other sport does that. Where it's like your Super. It doesn't. It's. I wouldn't call it the Super Bowl of racing. It's as big an event. I mean, it's massive,
NASCAR Super Bowl, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not a championship.
Right.
So
true.
it's a
But
big.
it's the biggest
It's the
single
biggest
event.
race, and if you were going to win one race, and that's what you're judged on by history, it's like winning the Indy 500.
Right.
I mean, it's like forever you're a Daytona 500 champion. So
Yeah.
that's why it's special, and that's why it's big, and that's why it's celebrated.
What changes did you make to the team, and how do you feel about them?
I feel great. We took. We actually have AJ Allmendinger as we're putting him back in the Xfinity series because he's like won the last two Xfinity championship. You know, the regular season championship.
Yeah.
Yep. And then so we're throwing him. We've got SVG coming in. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
I didn't until you mentioned
Shane
his
Van
name to me the other
Gisbergen.
night.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. New Zealand road course racer. Extremely one of the best in the world. So he's coming to NASCAR, and so he's racing for us in the Xfinity Series this year.
Wow, very nice.
So that's going to be huge and celebrated, and like it's just going to be a fun season that way. And then we've got a new guy, Josh Williams, running the Xfinity Series, who's run for years, but now we brought him over there. And then we moved Daniel Hemric up to the Cup Series. And then we've got, I know, isn't that good?
Being applauded by our NASCAR fan, Earl Pearl.
Yeah.
So we're moving him up, and then SVG and AJ Allmendinger are going to share, and along with a few other people that we haven't announced
AJ will
yet.
still run
He'll
some
he'll
Cup.
definitely run,
Okay.
at least 10 Cup races.
I feel like we should do a NASCAR fantasy league, by the way, on the show.
You should.
There's plenty of time to
We
do
need
it.
to do it.
I
Plenty
can't
of time
do
to
it.
do
let's
it.
set it up.
How many cars?
You set it up. I'll be in.
right.
I'll get in.
How many cars you got?
Well, we have 5 full-time. So 2 in the Cup Series, and then we've got 3 in the Xfinity Series. But you can run as many as you want. So we'll run more in the Cup Series than 2
And
sometimes.
I'm told
Right.
that these
And we're running
cars-
5 at Daytona in the Xfinity Series.
Oh, wow.
So we also run the Xfinity Series.
I'm told
at Daytona.
these cars
Yeah.
cost dozens and dozens of dollars.
Dozens of dollars.
And the follow-up is,
It's hundreds, actually.
if you do win the Daytona 500,
Yeah.
how you celebrating that?
Ooh, I don't know.
Can we be a part of it?
I'm not doing what Austin Dillon and his team do. When they win big races, they get tattoos on their butt.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that.
Like a whole look
Do
that
they
up.
really? Oh
Yeah,
my
they do.
God.
Like that night, they go to the tattoo parlor and they get. It's not like small saying, "Hey, we want."
Yeah.
It's a big like
Are you-
Daytona.
are they all
So I
at
will
the
not be
same-
doing that.
At the
So-
same
that's
time,
cool.
they all in the room. Like, is there any privacy on this? We got to figure this out.
Probably not. I don't know.
No.
Wow.
They're
That's
very comfortable.
that's
But
quite
that's a
close.
cool tradition.
It is cool, but I do think that
I mean,
you
nobody
should come up
sees your
with your
butt
team to
anyway.
do something like that.
Who's the first one that comes up with that? You know what we
who
should
started
do?
that plan?
We should tattoo our ass. That's what we should do.
Can you imagine if you didn't tell your wife? Like, you get out the shower, she's like, whoa.
What happened?
Do you have a
We got some explaining to do.
When you own a NASCAR team, are there a bunch of maybe not a bunch, but a few backup drivers that are on call essentially
Yeah.
if some guys get hurt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt told me there's an app for
That's
it. I
how it
said, where
works.
do you come up with these drivers? He goes, there's an app
Uber?
for it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, there's
So
no
they
app.
can run, and
He
they
was-
can fill in for other guys too.
Yeah. Well, they're mostly small guys, but that's what you have to do. If you do have a a driver that gets hurt or injured, then they all fill in.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some bad situations. If you even remember, Ryan Newman got hurt
back
at
in the day.
Daytona a few years ago.
Yeah.
So we had one of our drivers, Ross Chastain. They asked him if he'd fill in. So there's a whole thing between Toyota, Chevy, and Ford that you need a Chevy driver to drive in the Chevy. But then when certain things happen, then they
can drop those
lax.
rules.
Well, just so you know, I can leave Avon Lake at 10:37.
You could be
and
there.
make it here by 11 and in the chair. So if you need anyone,
somebody.
I think I missed
You're
my
fast.
calling by
It's a
being a
little
race car
faster on
driver.
the track there.
We got to
That's
talk
funny.
about Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So you're now doing some business with Peyton Manning. First of all, how the hell did that happen? Because Peyton doesn't do much.
Yeah.
And tell us what you guys are doing together.
Well, so with our Kaulig Companies Championship, our golf tournament at Firestone that we do every year with the PGA Tour, the Champions Tour, we have an ambassador of golf. So this is actually a PGA Champions Tour thing. Last year we had Steph Curry. The year before that, Condoleezza Rice, George Bush, a few years. And so this year it's Peyton Manning. And so we asked him, he's involved in golf. Really, so the Kaulig Companies Championship is it's obviously golf, but it's a big deal in the community as far as philanthropy. So
Big.
this past year we gave $1.2 million back to, Akron and Northeast Ohio. And so, we pick people that are big time in philanthropy, and Peyton is. So he aligns with our mission, which is kids and their direct families. And so he's really into golf. He's really into philanthropy. And we asked him to be the ambassador to golf, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll be there. It's July 11th."
That's cool.
Will you get to play around with
Yeah,
Peyton?
we'll play. I think we're playing in the Pro-Am, I think the day before. So
How cool is that?
Ain't that
cool.
crazy? Yeah, it'd be cool to have your phone and be like, Siri, call Peyton Manning. Let me get him up on here. What's
Now,
what's your
will
handle?
you,
Yeah.
will
You
you
wanna be
talk
the-
quarterback with him because you were a quarterback? I
I
imagine you guys would talk
I would hope.
a little bit.
yeah, I would think. But it's really cool I would imagine it would be cool as a pro athlete to be like honored or part of like another sport.
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry last year won that big event, that they had out wherever it was in Reno. And to be able to hold a trophy up that's not an NBA trophy,
Yeah, it'd be cool.
it would be just the ultimate just cool. So
Yeah.
Peyton's getting good at golf, and he's trying to be great at golf.
What's
but
your handicap? Are you a good golfer?
mine?
Yeah.
It just climbed back up to like 19.8. So
Okay.
no, I'm not a good golfer.
You're under 20, so that is actually good.
it's fine.
That is
Yeah.
considered good.
Yeah.
Because your average weekend golfer is doing well if he breaks 100.
Yeah.
Well, that's how. So in business, even Leafield, that's how we would judge sales managers. I'd say, "How's your handicap?" And if it was a good handicap, I wouldn't hire him.
Yeah, it's too good. You're not spending enough time.
Yeah, you're not. You should be out selling.
No,
You
that's-
shouldn't be out golfing.
What's the best round you've ever shot? Your best score?
You know what? I'm gonna say probably 85. I never got better than that.
yeah.
And that's probably 30 years ago.
Do you get on the track with the cars yourself?
Yeah.
Often?
Not often, but
What's the fastest you've ever gone?
well, at Daytona they let us get up to 167 miles per
that'd be
hour.
awesome.
What is that like?
It's a little nerve-wracking. We did the whole Richard Petty experience. Actually, it was during COVID.
Okay.
And they let us. I actually bought out the track. It was my birthday, so we had a little birthday celebration, and you couldn't
G-Boys
go.
did that for his birthday last
couldn't-
year.
Yeah, is that what you guys are doing for your birthday?
Yeah, man. It was crazy,
So-
man.
Next year, it's Indy 500. He's going to Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
So we took 12 cars out, and like they I can't believe they let us get up to 160. And so
You're
the
living
funny
my
part
dream.
is
You have to sign your life away because I've done the Richard Petty thing too. And when you sign it, you're like, what does this mean? It means if you die,
It's not
we're
our
not
fault.
responsible. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
And
okay.
can you believe they just let you go out there? You're not. I mean, you're not in like you're in helmets and safety gear or whatever. But like the helmets, the worst thing I ever did. And I don't even mean to say it that way, but like we did the whole thing around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as well in Indy cars.
oh, wow. That's what I would
cool.
love to do that.
So
I've never done that.
And you can't drive yourself, but they have, it's a 2-seater, where they, there's a driver and you're just behind them. But that's a situation where you're going around Indy. You've got to be pretty. Dare I say, crazy?
You're
And
daredevil.
those guys
You're
know.
And-
I don't know. They didn't tell us, but it felt like full speed.
I asked, I think it was Bobby Rahal. It was once, I
Yeah.
asked a formidable IndyCar driver what it was like, and the driver said to me, imagine sitting on a sled and going around a track 200 miles an hour, because obviously in those cars,
Yeah.
your tail end is about 6 inches off the ground.
Wow. That is
You
crazy.
are so
And
close
it's the
to
same.
the ground.
It's the same thing at Daytona. I mean, you're just trusting it. Now at Daytona, the NASCAR they're wide open. I mean, you're not really lifting, but you just trust that it's going to hold. So it's
Sure.
the same thing. So same with Indy cars. Like you're going 200 miles per hour, and you're just or 220, and
Yeah.
you're just trusting how it's going to hold. So you're just looking at the right front tire, being like, and I did about 10 laps in it. And I was like, what am I doing?
You're living.
This is
No,
ridiculous.
you're living. That's what you're doing.
This ain't for us.
No,
There's
no.
limits to
No fat guys allowed in those
like
cars.
but we have arms outside to like put
No,
your
we couldn't
put, your,
fit.
put
We
my
couldn't
side.
fit.
Do they have doors on these things?
Oh,
No.
no.
So I gotta climb
climb
No,
out
you gotta
the
get
window.
up.
Yeah.
You got to get
That's not
yeah.
happening.
And the crazy thing about the IndyCar is it's an open air car.
Yeah.
Like at least in NASCAR, it feels like you're driving a real car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Indy cars, you have to squeeze into a seat that's this wide, and your channel for your legs is barely bigger than both legs. And you're in this like this, and the upper half of your
Compact.
body is in open air.
Can't move
That's
your head.
crazy.
You can't. Yeah.
It is
What,
bananas.
do you have a favorite racing movie, by the way, of all time?
Yeah. Probably. I mean, Days of Thunder
Okay.
or Talladega Nights.
That's my
That's
favorite.
a great movie.
Just because I love
But
comedy.
what was the
and
one?
romance.
It's got to be Talladega.
Yeah, Talladega Nights is just
What was
so
the
good.
one with Matt Damon that came out? It was about
Yes.
origins
Ford,
of-
Ford versus
Right,
Ferrari.
Ford versus
Yeah.
You know, I
Ferrari.
never
That was
saw
a
that,
great
but
movie.
it looked
It was
good.
good. It was
Yeah,
good. I
it's
saw
a
it.
great movie.
It was
yeah.
great.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
I'm
Great.
still hung up on renting out the track. Oh, it's my birthday. I'm going to go run out the track. I rent out I-90 every day. I just don't tell anyone.
And I,
Well, I remember.
So we had dinner, but they let us have dinner at the start-finish line. Wow. So
That is cool.
it was
this
cool.
is so
That's
cool.
next
It's
level
funny.
stuff.
Like I
I
went
know.
to laser tag.
But we've won there.
I went to Chuck E. Cheese.
We'd won there before, so I think we've won there 3 times. So
That's dope.
they let us do it, and it was a really cool experience.
Wow.
About 12. We dressed up in jackets, and they had so even before dinner they had it all catered, and then they had up on the screen like the wins, like the winning moments or the last lap of when we won. So our drivers were there. It was awesome, but 2 of those wins were during COVID, so we didn't get to celebrate.
wow.
And so even during COVID, like the owners, like I wasn't allowed to go to the racetrack.
Wow.
So we got
That's
champagne bottles out and we were spraying each other, and so we celebrated that way.
Such an
That's
odd
cool.
time.
You and Jay's
cool.
you and Jay's life insurance got to be crazy. Like, y'all's like them policies is out of control. Shout out to Tracy. He doesn't buy. Jay, stop jumping out of planes.
Yeah, but
all
here's the
kind of
thing.
other stuff.
I want to fly planes.
Stop.
And Tracy's like,
You-
absolutely not. Those are the ones that
Have you
crash.
flown a plane?
No.
Will you?
No. No.
Will you jump out of an
I
airplane?
no. I would, but no.
You see that? That's that kid. He's like, yeah.
I'll jump out of the plane with
but
you.
at the end of the day, no, I'm not going to.
I saw
So
a
you'll go
video.
200 miles around a track, but not jump out of a plane.
He has limits.
Yeah, right.
He has limits. What's your greatest thrill, and not business?
Yeah.
Your greatest thrill as a sportsman, and it can be from your days as a quarterback, or it can be your days now as an owner of a NASCAR team.
Boy, that's a good question. Probably the NASCAR is exciting. I mean, even being part of the Daytona 500 and being, I don't say I'm just a kid from Akron because I'm not even from Akron, but like, you feel like that sometimes where like you just grow up. And then I played college football. I played at the University of Akron, and then all of a sudden have some success in business and are able to own like a professional sports team. And so the fact, and then being able to be and actually have your name and your cars and everything else at a place like the Daytona 500 and qualify and run.
You've
and
won there.
and actually have chances to win. Yeah, we won there 3 times in the Xfinity series. But and now we've run, I don't know how many years this is that we've been in the Daytona 500, but It's a really thrilling, amazing experience. Probably the best in college. We played, we were at the University of Akron, so you get to play sometimes at big schools. So when we played at Kansas State, when they were 4th in the country, that was probably the biggest. And they were crazy. Those fans were nuts.
Yeah.
I know
the
they're
L.
not
Roberson
known for
years?
it now, but
Michael Bishop.
L. Roberson?
It might be
Michael
Michael Bishop.
I don't know, but
Michael Bishop did play there.
we lost 77-0.
Oh,
Okay, and I've never experienced. And
You can say you went.
Bill Snyder came into the locker room after the game. So Bill Snyder was their coach.
Yeah.
And a legend, and comes into our locker room after the game and says, "Keep your heads, you guys."
That's kind of a cool move, though.
No, it wasn't. I thought it was like.
Listen,
I
Jim
was
Bush
so-
played at OU
Like
and
he
he
was
took some tail
patronizing you?
whippings.
I was embarrassed. I was like, I can't believe the other coaches in our locker room apologizing for beating our ass 77-0.
Look what you turned that into.
You're
you
right.
kept your head up and you had some success in business.
I'm like, man, is this real life? It was actually a class move
But
by him
got
because
that bag.
yeah.
I got the bag.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Good luck at Daytona. We're going to be following your teams as we always do, and we hope that you have huge success this year. And I want to know one thing from Peyton.
Okay.
Does he yell Omaha before he hits his tee shot? That's all I want to know.